Hello, my name is Theresa Heinrichs, and here we are in my studio in Okanagan Landing. And I thought it would be fun today to talk about travel and how it's influenced my art. Yeah, travel's always been a really big influence on my art practice. I spent a lot of time, actually a year, studying and teaching in Australia, and had the very good fortune of having a watercolor expert teaching me a lot about painting. Her name was Ruth Tuck. And then after that, I started traveling. It was getting close to retirement, and I thought I'm just going to travel to places that I've always been interested in that had an influence from artists. And of course, the first place you have to go is France. And one of my very special influencers has been Claude Monet. His artwork. I love his impressionistic painting, and feel that Impressionism is kind of my favorite at-home place for painting. So I went to his home in Giverny in the south of France, in Vernon, and it was absolutely stunning. His home is something to be seen. It's unbelievable in terms of colors. His studio is massive. His water lily paintings are massive. They would take up walls like this. And it was really fascinating in his life. He actually had a vision problem later in life, and so that's why he painted in kind of a blurry impressionist way that actually was a big part of the beginning of Impressionism, and had a very large influence on me. Another place I traveled to was Italy, and when I went up to Cinque Terre, I stayed in a little village called Santa Margherita Liguri, and every day on the way to the train station, I would pass a gorgeous little studio that had a massive flower painting that was highly textured, and the petals would almost fall out of the painting. And I looked at it day after day, and I thought, you know, I want to do that. I want to do that for the rest of my life. So I did. And I started taking my palette knives and my molding paste and sculpturing on my canvases. And after I did that, then I would add my paint layers. And I just kind of can't paint without sculpture, because it gives a depth and an excitement to painting that nothing else has ever done for me. You know, it's very interesting. When you're traveling, there's usually something that catches your eye and and makes you think, I have to paint that. And for me, it's always the color. When I was teaching for celebrity cruises, I would teach classes about things that we had seen on our journeys into the places that were so incredibly colorful. Like we went to the glaciers in Alaska, and in a certain light, the glaciers have mauves and pinks and greens and blues, and then that's reflected in the water and makes for a beautiful painting. You can go to India and the Taj Mahal, the shadows and the warmth and the white of the Taj Mahal can have yellows and mauves in the shadows and golds and things that make you want to paint it. And I think that's always been my biggest influence, that I tend to see more colors in things than a lot of people do. I don't know if it's an extra rod or cone in the eye. I don't know what it is, but when I'm looking at a mountain, I can see the purple shadows. I can see the pinks. I can see the golds of the sunlight bouncing off it. I can see the greens of the vegetation. To me, a painting is never complete unless the color has moved throughout the painting. So when you're painting, and let's say you have a lovely yellow field in front of you, and then up behind you have some mountains, I can see glints of the light hitting the mountain that is the gold of the fields. So by carrying your color through the painting, right up to even in the clouds, you'll see a little tiny bit of gold. It gives the painting a unity and kind of a song that sings and makes the painting beautiful. Thank you very much for visiting the studio. I hope you enjoyed the visit, and I hope that in your artwork, or you're just observing things, that you think about the color and look for the richness of the color and enjoy it.